talk about the home stretch here. We go out and welcome in our guy, Josh Klingler. You hear him every morning on Festival in the Morning, starting at 6. And you hear him every Chiefs game on the sideline. And I feel like you still have lucked out this season, Kling, weather-wise, on the sideline. I know I just jinxed you now, but I think you've lucked out on the sideline. It hasn't been that bad this year.
Don't talk in the middle of the no-hitter. No, the worst game was that Broncos game where it felt like it was way too early to be snowing.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been pretty good. No, the weather's been all right. I like to just save it for the playoffs, right? I don't mind it in the playoffs, but anytime before then, yeah, I just assume not have it. It looks like it could be pretty decent on Monday, assuming the rain holds up, but the temperature's going to be nice on Monday even. So, yeah, it's been great.
Kling, are you worried about getting the 63-point Raiders or the 0-point Raiders? That's the last 2 weeks.
Probably neither. But I mean, like right now, no offense to the Chiefs, but you feel like could they score 63 on or 42 and a half on somebody? You know, even if they weren't trying, like what they did was pretty remarkable. I don't care if the Chargers quit. I mean, scoring 42 on air would be pretty impressive right now in the first half, wouldn't it? So, yeah, what a baffling team. I think that did have more to do though with the one team getting their coach ousted, maybe than the Raiders offense. But they still have some questions to answer internally, so you know they're going to win. I thought Patrick Mahomes yesterday on the drive said we know they want to beat us, and so the way he said it in his voice, I think it'll get the Chiefs' attention. They know that the Raiders have love nothing more than to have reason to circle their buses around Arrowhead again. Yeah,
Kling, it's kind of weird. Normally this time of the year, I think we always are having conversations in the past like, are the Chiefs still motivated? They just want to hit fast forward to the playoffs. We haven't had any of that, and I'm not worried about that because of how challenging this year has been at times, and they're sitting with 5 losses, which is unusual territory for them at this point, and knowing the issues they have. Like I'm way past the worry of, are they not going to get up to play the Raiders, or are they just looking ahead? Like that hasn't been a concern this year.
I mean, even if you look at it just internally, like, yes, you could say that they're in a good spot and all you have to do is win games, but I think that they're looking at, yes, they need to win games, but I think it's clear they want to get better. They want to put on a better performance. So kind of staying hungry, I guess living in the week-to-week NFL world that seemingly is this particular season, Chiefs fit right into that mantra. Yeah, a lot of time. I mean, we all thought the West was over weeks ago, right? And suddenly that's hopefully can be put to rest on Monday, but you feel like, wow, that took longer than it should have. But and then, the temptation to shift ahead into like playoff mode for everybody. Well, I think this Chiefs team has shown us we all need to be living in the week-to-week too, because there's still plenty of things that they need to get ironed out offensively. Plenty of things they need to get ironed out. Let's just say offensively. I'm fine with the defense still. Like offensively, get some stuff figured out before the postseason rolls around, and don't let these things that are biting you right now be the one that ultimately bites you in a postseason game that you are super self-inflicted in, rather than maybe find a team that beats you. I think that's been the frustrating part of every loss. It's super self-inflicted. So still got time to rectify that, but there's still a lot of question marks a lot of people are seeing, right, with the way this offense performs.
I think what stands out the most is Tony, and what I've been doing is just like trying to take in everyone's opinion, Kling. So my opinion is like sit him for a game, teach him the lesson that is playing time is valuable to people who don't make mistakes for this team. I listened to Peter King yesterday on the drive say, yeah, I think maybe in different years that's probably how they would have done it, but they don't have the talent to handle it. I got Gronk saying on Kay Adams' show that you straight up don't like football enough if you are continuously making these mistakes and not doing it. What does Andy do about Kadarius Toney? Not what should he do, because that's your and I's opinion. What will he do about Toney?
I think it's going to be positive reinforcement, trying to go back to you. Now, do I think there's like lesser opportunities? Yeah, I think we've kind of seen that anyway. I think that, as much as everybody wants to give this wide receiver group grief, my stance has been, well, we saw the number of snaps basically flip-flop, right? They got 2 guys that were less productive and given them less snaps. They've given guys that are more productive suddenly more of the snaps, and then Toney finds himself kind of in the middle, and maybe his number reduces a bit. Maybe you take a few away from him, but I don't think they're going to completely negate him. And I don't think they're going to completely set him on the sideline and say, we're not using you. I think that their comments publicly to that effect would indicate to me, no, it's going to be via reinforcement, and we're going to believe in you, and we need you, and those types of things, rather than, kind of the punishment aspect of saying, hey, go sit over there. But, hey, if you can do it in the midst of a game without being like not activated, but just have somebody standing over there not being used as much, can't that send a message too? I just don't think they're going to completely eliminate him from even a week or two.
Yeah, I just don't think they can. It's just because of the rest of the wide receiver room and the problems that they have. Now, did you notice, everybody's paying attention to Buffalo this past weekend where they said, we're just going to run the ball and we don't care, you can't stop us, to the Dallas Cowboys, but it was clearly willing to focus in on it, maybe a different style play than the Bills want to. Are the Chiefs willing, not saying they're going to run the ball all the time, are they willing to go with just multiple tight end sets the rest of the way if that's what actually works?
If you or I were doing it, I'm not questioning like our football acumen versus Andy Reid. I think he's proved enough, offensively. But yeah, if you could just run a couple tight ends, Rice outside, and any combination of 1, 2, or 3 running backs, wouldn't everybody be feel a little bit better about it? I think that they do game plans based on who they're facing, and yeah, you could see more tight end sets, but I think it's probably more so based on the opponent rather than necessarily saying we're just going to avoid these guys. I just don't feel like that they're going to do that. Other than snap counts, I think the snap counts are where we've seen the changes. Sky Moore and MVS were at the top of the snap count list at the beginning of the year. They're now at the bottom of the snap count list. I think that's the only adjustment you're going to see there. I don't think they're going to run the football more. Probably not going to run more tight ends unless it factors in an individual game plan. You know what I'm saying?
How do they fix the turnovers? Just pray? At this point, Kling, they're the worst team in the NFL at 2 things, penalties and turnovers. They've been a bad penalty team for a decade. Every once in a while, they run into a year where they're not bad on it, but I understand Andy Reid's teams get penalized, and I'm fine with it. Honestly, it's like one of those things I live with, like him not running the ball enough. But the turnovers, that's at the point now where it is going to be the thing that prevents you from hosting the AFC title game again or going to a Super Bowl again.
I will only say in terms of penalties. I don't want to see another Juwan Taylor backpedal penalty. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't care if you hold. I don't care. I just don't want to see another self-inflict where you're moving early. Enough. Just eliminate that, right? And I can almost forgive the rest of the penalties. Every once in a while, I'm going to get caught up in a hold. So be it. And anyone along the offensive line, but not those ones that you're like, enough is enough with these. And then the turnovers. I think and again, it's so simple, right? Just get your hands on the football. And when you've got it, secure it. Even Rashee Rice, as much as we've seen him do some good things, ball's on the ground again. That's got to stop too. He did recover his own fumble the most recent time, but those things just got to stop. I don't think Mahomes puts them in as many bad spots. I think it's probably a little more wide receiver inflicted. And if you're trustable, I think he's going to stay away from some of those maybe gamble type of things that have gotten him in trouble. But I don't know. Yeah, and they're just not as good at overcoming the turnovers maybe as they have in the past. But it's hard to say this late in the season, guys. Some of the stuff's been lingering since week 1, penalties and turnovers and self-infliction that's still going now. And so I think we just have to, you almost have to kind of avert your eyes and hope at this point that one of them doesn't ultimately be costly, because they haven't done a great job of completely negating all those things.
I think what's scary for me is not that they can't get through one game, but that if the postseason, if they don't get the bye, Kling, they're going to have to be clean like that for 4 consecutive games. There's a couple of AFC opponents they could beat and be sloppy in the first round, but I feel like anyone you see divisional round or later, it won't work.
Yeah, and then who are those opponents, right? Similar tiered teams
Browns, Bengals, Texans, whatever.
Yeah. The ones you think are kind of maybe the ones you thought were there all the time. The Bills, the Ravens, the Dolphins. Anybody else? I will say, those are good enough teams to play with you at all times, right? So, but we're all in the camp. I'd rather get beat than hand it to somebody. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Put yourself in a position where you lose a game straight up versus you lose a game because we go, oh, this mistake and this mistake, when this mistake happened, oh my goodness, why are you doing this to yourselves? I almost feel like at this stage I don't want to settle for it because I don't want them to win the whole thing, but I could live with a team beating you. I just haven't seen enough of those instances this year in their losses where I say, man, that team just beat you. I think you've beaten yourselves too many times, and so they need to knock that stuff off and not have one of those games in the postseason.
Right, and that's why if they were to get eliminated in the divisional round or wild card weekend or whatever, like I'm pretty sure we all know what that would look like. Like it probably is what you were saying. It's the self-inflicted stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's texts in all the time that there, or people that want to have that. Well, this is what's going to get him in the playoffs, and I'm never in that mentality. But if you have that argument, if you say
normally I'm
the
not,
turnovers and the penalties are going to cost him in the postseason, I can't. There's nothing that shows in the body work that tells me I can debate this on you. It just, it might be the case. So yeah, you just don't want it to happen that way. But I can't argue with you if you feel like that's going to be their undoing in the postseason, because it certainly looks like it would be.
Yeah, in the past, people would say that about even special teams, like, oh, Harrison Butker, it's going to get him and I would roll my eyes at that. But like this year, literally, the drops, the penalties, the turnover, like that has got them in their losses. Like it's not even. I think normally, just as fans, you could always say in any sport, like, well, if you make some mistakes, it might cost you. Like, no kidding. But truly, that is what has gotten them this year. So I just think there's more truth to it than ever before.
That's where I'm at. I can't. I would sometimes would be willing to argue on that. Well, let's just see how it plays. It's been the entire season so far, and they're still doing some of these things. So yes, if you're wedded to that belief, I can't talk you out of it. I just hope that they are able to find a way to overcome that stuff here with a few weeks to go.
Kling, last thing, what's a good $30 or under white elephant gift? Not the bad present gift, the good present kind,
I mean, I've gotten to the age where socks are great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I used to hate that. Used to hate that as a kid, but give me a couple bags of socks.
You want some Bombas or something?
I heard you
Is
guys
that what
say
you're
the phone cord earlier. Who can argue with extra phone cables? There's no. These break and you lose them all the time, or in our household, the kids snags them and you can't find them. So yeah, I think those types of things are great. Just an under $30 gift. I don't know. 12-pack of beer. I mean, I'm pretty simple these days. Like socks and a cold beverage. I think I could be bought off.
Sounds like a nice Sunday,
Yeah, not bad, huh?
All right, Kling, appreciate it. Happy holidays. Again, you'll be working on Christmas Day, so you got your whole day planned around the football game.
Yes, I've offered the children they could have like a 5:30 a.m. Christmas if they'd like. But
okay.
At the age of 17, they're not all that interested in that anymore. So I said, okay, well, I guess you wait till after the game's over.
That's what Danon said. He said he's got family coming over and stuff around 6 o'clock. By then, he hopes he's home from traffic and everything.
How expensive does it get when they get older, Kling?
We could do it at 5:30 a.m. or 5:30 p.m.
What's the most expensive gift either of them asked for? How much are we talking dollar amount for one item?
One of them had one of those, some kind of $600 Apple ear pods or something. I don't know what they did. Did they drive your car or launch you into space? I don't know.
$600?
There's $600 Apple headphones?
It was either I don't think it was a watch. I thought it was some kind of headphones or something. And I said,
there are AirPods Max Silver, $549 from Apple. Holy crap. They're over-the-ear headphones, but they're wireless, and they're from Apple, so of course, Holy cow.
I'm like, no, don't think so. Nice try, though.
There you go. All right, Kling.
Santa's not bringing it this year. Sorry, kids.
No.